My name is Eidelman. I'm co-founder of Azure Printed Homes. So we develop technology to 3D print homes using recycled materials. And we started this company shortly after I survived the Malibu fire 6 years ago. And so our goals are to build faster, less expensive, less environmental impact or positive environmental impact, but also in the days when ICE is running around and pulling our employees of job sites to do it in the factory, safe environment, automated, American-made, so not affected by tariffs. It really concerns me that so many people are talking about how they're underinsured because of the quotes they're getting from many contractors. Reality is, without the plans, contractors have no idea what it's going to cost. With labor situation that we have now, shortages and the tariffs, people are just guessing, and when they guess the wrong amount or very high amount, then the easy decision for homeowners is to put their property on, for sale or their land for sale. Again, living through Malibu, people who lost land, who sold land after the fire, lost huge amount of value. So really, I have a sense of urgency to help as many people as I can come up with a plan to build beautiful new buildings, less expensive, do it quickly. I published a book, and if any of you lost homes, these books are for free. If you didn't lose a home, it's on Amazon for 99 cents. So yeah, I can help people how to build, rebuild in a quality way, faster, less expensive.
Beautiful. I'd like a show of hands, and I have an idea of what this might be, and if you're unwilling, understandable, but who lost their home in one of these recent wildfires? Okay. Just important to know, because, you know, I'll tell you, part of our challenge here is that we want to expedite permitting, right? And I want to talk about regulatory and policy. And at the same time, some of the things that are being expedited is, you know, some of the pressure to have fully electric homes and induction stoves and all these different things. So we're kind of loosening in the areas that we all fought for quite some time. But at the same time, I'm not in a position to say what I'm about to say, but I want to put it out in the room, which is, you know, as you said, these things, you know, a solar project, it's got a 25 to 40 year life cycle. So this building stock, it could be 100 years, 150 years, and we're all wanting to get back into our homes, anyone who's lost their homes, very, very quickly. So how can we actually advocate sort of pumping the brakes, unless that's not an EV term, but slowing down just a little bit for a moment and saying, let me think about that rebuild. And I love it the way you put it, Craig, because I think about resolution and I think about resolve, re-solution. Nature has done this forever and ever. It's been solved already over time. Everything is iterative. So we're not solving new problems necessarily, maybe in new ways. That's innovation, but largely iterative. But how, anybody want to raise their hand as to how do you speak to someone who wants it right now and say, this is going to take a little extra time to do the right thing. It might take a little extra money to do the right thing.
Yeah, I really appreciate, let's give Greg another round of applause for putting this together, right? But let me give you an example of never just don't think, you know, you got to think big. Just last week we had a call prepare for this meeting, and Greg said it would be nice to get a couple pieces of land and do some demonstration projects, right? And I kind of, you know, said, oh wow, when is it going to happen? Last night, I got an email from UCLA. They got 3 pieces of land to do a demonstration project, right? I mean, it's just like, when people don't raise big questions, nothing happens. And when people with energy and smart, and we have now the speed to make things happen. We need so many things changed. You know, insurance industry is broken. Utility industry is broken. Permits are terrible. You know, so on one hand, it can be overwhelming. On the other hand, every one of these problems, this is a prime time. Because let me tell you, you know, in Malibu, the fires happened in November. I volunteered for LA County, March through May. By June, people forgot about it. And that's what worries me. We just, you know, people who live through it are going to live through it for the rest of their life. But majority of the people, are going to go on about their life and just not going to think about it. I mean, that's just how things happen. The reason I started writing this book is the same questions that were raised 6 years ago, the day after the fire. Here we're at this again. And it's like, has anybody listened? Does anybody remember? So my thought is, let's think big. On one hand, if you're going through this, take step by step. There is, step by step to rebuilding. Think how to do it quickly. But only 5 people lost homes, and the rest of the people here haven't. So don't give up. This is a big problem. We're going to find a solution. Let's do something about it.
Yeah. Go.
I'm practicing that lesson of taking a deep breath and waiting for other voices. So I'll go ahead with my comment. So what to do is, how to do it is a really difficult question, because I have so much sympathy for the people who lost their homes. I lived in Pacific Palisades twice. I haven't lived there for 15 years, 20 years maybe. And but both the places that I lived there are gone. I don't own them. I don't live there anymore, right? It didn't have that much impact on me other than sentimentally. But because my wife and I lived there at an important time of our life, when our son was born, first couple of years of his life was in Pacific Palisades. It's really meaningful to us. And when Pacific Palisades burned down, my wife came and said, Clean Coalition better stand up an initiative to make sure that Pacific Palisades gets rebuilt in a really, positive way that's way better than the way it was built before. And we've expanded that out to include Altadena and anywhere that anybody's going to build anything, frankly. But we're trying to use this opportunity, a major disaster, to make sure that things are done correctly. And so I'm just going to, my real thought here to answer your question, Colin, is I do know how not to do things. And how not to do things is to loosen up the policies that were really hard fought by people like Colin and Drew and Clean Coalition and lots of other people in this room and outside of this room. And all of the policymakers basically lined up, and one after the other, they said, we're going to loosen the standards. And now people can just build back the same old shit that burned down. That is not how to do things. So I don't know if I have the answer to how to do things, but I know that's an easy answer of how not to do things.
Fantastic.